All right, welcome everybody to this ScrimCast. I'll be casting with my co-caster Reinhardt today,
Hello, everyone.
and me as your main cast, as always, Monorchid. And this is going to be a ScrimCast between the QuestCumbers and Kesney's victims. And this time, Kesney is actually present. So we're going to see just how many team kills he can rack up tonight. We are running this as if it were a real match. So I believe QuestCumbers are taking home. We also have a couple bans today. For QuestCumbers, they'll be banning Tanker. And for Pandas, they're banning Downfall. And I would also just like to point out that JamesBowk will be joining for analysis. He's just going to be jumping in a little late here, as this was a last-minute pickup for this ScrimCast today. So do you have any thoughts on why they banned those maps? Any particular reasons?
Tanker's it's a difficult map. There's a lot of different alleys and corners to watch. So if you're not familiar with that, it's hard to play. And for a new team like QuestCumbers, I imagine they're just banning it because they don't have a lot of experience with it. For Pandamonium or Kesney's victims, I imagine they're banning it because they just played that earlier today. So I imagine they just don't want to get 2 reps in on the same map.
Roger that. Yeah, you guys just had a match recently, didn't you?
Yes, it just finished up about an hour ago.
How'd that go?
It went good. We had 2 close rounds, and then we did very well on quarantine. So the other 2 rounds, we only won 1 map, but the 2 we lost were 3-4s. So nothing to be upset about. Just a little frustrated, if anything.
Right, there's always a little frustration when it doesn't quite go your way, but there's always something to learn. And probably a lot to learn too. It was is that your first time you guys have faced an EU team?
No, we've played I think 2 or 3 EU teams.
Oh, okay.
We did play Game Fist actually
Oh
right
yeah.
after 1.7 ended, and we lost there too. But it was much closer this time. So
So it just kind of shows how much you guys have improved. That was one of your first matches or whatever. So it's really awesome to see that. And the third time might be the charm, right?
hopefully.
Hopefully. They probably don't think so, though. So we'll be starting this cast here on Suburbia here. Surprise, surprise. And it sounds like we're about to get started here. The first objective is going to be the south house right here in the garage. This one's a pretty dangerous one. If they Marsa can get close, as they can come around the back, they can cap on the outside here. They can cap on the inside, just outside of the outside of the garage itself. So definitely something to watch out for here. And let's see how this plays out.
So it looks like Pandamonium is doing a 2-3 split with 2 people going down lane 4, and 3 people going to lane 2. I imagine they're going to challenge for center house very quickly. And it looks like they'll run into QC Ader.
Yeah, he's standing in the doorway. He catches out White Fang, pulls back just in time to not get refrag from JT. Moves up. Looks like he's maybe going to go upstairs here, which would be a great move. Calls out. JT should know that he's moved upstairs considering where his voice was when he did that call out. Meanwhile, in lane 4, Baggins and Kesney have pushed up. They have gone on their side of the map, the south side, and should be able to possibly get some picks here if they're lucky. Marvin isn't necessarily going to be facing the right way when they come around, so there's definitely some opportunities here on Varix as well, who is prone looking under the APC.
So JT and Nev are finally moving up into center house. Looks like they're taking it slow after that pick from QC, which I feel is the smart thing to do, but they're just about to enter.
QC should be aware of their pushing up, as JT is doing some nice callouts there. Dader catches out JT, and JT lamenting his lack of tablet awareness here. I probably thought it was a friendly. Gets confirmed. Varix, meanwhile, trying to look and see if there's an opportunity for him to kill anybody. JT's already dead, though. Meanwhile, the lane 4 push has been a little bit slow, but Kesney has pushed up inside the why do I always mess up on this one? On the playground. Oh, almost gets his head cut off by Marvin, who is aware of this north push.
So Nev is about to go up to the second floor of center house. She's crouched right now.
She
and
gets taken out.
Picks her out.
3 down on me, boys.
Okay.
All right, so T. Baggins takes out Marvin. He does need to confirm that kill there, but Ree should be aware of his position, and it looks like he is looking around. I'm going to just pop on lasers now. We'll see if Ree is going to be looking over at Baggins there on lane 4. Varix takes out Kesney, who was, I assume, still in the
He was over
back
on lane
area.
1.
Yeah.
Either I'm by the enemy spawn outside of the house.
Okay, so Varix is pushing up. He sees Baggins and takes him out on the flank there. Good rotation from Varix after getting that pick, realizing that they had the upper hand, and using that to do a nice flank on onto Baggins, who just didn't have the opportunity to be looking every direction all at once. All right, so we'll see how the Pandas decide to defend this objective here. And
So Tiger Strike in the chat was saying that we have the wrong name for Pandamonium. However, it's kind of an inside or a well-known joke that Kesney team kills. So since it's not official,
but if Reinhardt explains it, it's definitely not funny. You just say it in the most dry manner possible. Like, you give Theta a run for his money there. So Kesney's victim is because Kesney team kills. It's funny. Please laugh. Love you, Reinhardt.
Thanks, Mono.
Oh, man. Alrighty. So this should be an interesting one. Honestly, this is one of the more interesting objectives, I think. I don't really like a lot of the objectives on this map, but I think this one has some pretty interesting situations. It's fairly defendable, but like I was saying earlier, if they do get in behind you, suddenly it's extremely dangerous for the defense. So it's just kind of has that going for both sides where there's some interesting plays. What do you think of this objective?
I think the main thing to do is try to get behind the house, and if you can do that, you can normally cap. But
And it's just exciting when that happens too. Like both sides, and they know what's happening as well. You know, the defenders scrambling to rush over there and defend it, while the attackers just trying to clear everything out, get into position to cap, and do it all just before the defenders can react.
You're gonna nade that, and you're gonna try and cap. So you're going right.
Looks like they're already planning for a cap here in QuestCumbers. Aggressive. Let's see how this one plays out.
So Kesney's victims is handing off a clicker for C4, so I imagine we'll see a rush.
Looks like we already got some fire coming in lane 3. 3 players going center house. Navase just choosing to defend in the living room here. Interesting. 2 players taking the upstairs. Should be pretty hard for Marvin to take this with 3 enemy players here. I'm just going to jump on him and just watch as he breaches in here. See what he sees.
Looking for the lane one pick through second floor of center.
Moving around lane 2. Lane 2.
And Navasti catches Marvin. Good position there. She stayed still. She stayed quiet. Was able to get the drop on him as he just had no idea that anyone would be downstairs at that moment. Meanwhile, over here in lane 4, we have 2 players pushing up. Cautious, trying to throw some smoke on the APC, blind or try to cause a rotation if anyone's prone behind the APC. But no one will be there today. Navaste catches out looking out the back door here. It's looking good for the Pandas this round.
Yeah, I'm surprised Ree pushed in through that angle. He did just see his teammate downed at the same position, so
yeah, it's
I'm
always
surprised he
going to be
didn't
a
rotate
risk to
around.
do that. Yeah, it's always a risk. You gotta definitely pay attention to the situation and really make that decision if it's the right play to make. But you never know; they could always reposition as well.
QC Dur is pushing down lane 1 right now. He could get behind without being seen right now.
T Baggins is defending objective close. Kesney's on the backside. He's calling out to his team, being that battlefield commander. This is going to be tough for the opposition here, because Adair is going to get seen either by Baggins if he does direct, or by the 2 players in center house who are looking back. For example, JT, kind of in the window there. Let's see. He's
Nev is now
really
rotating
looking
out
out the
of
window
center
so
house.
much. Kesney says, "Stop breathing." I don't think that's what you're supposed to do, Kesney.
Excuse me?
A lot of banner going on for the Pandas.
Yeah, it seems
Having
like
too
everyone's
much
in a
fun.
good mood.
Yeah, having too much fun. You were correct, actually. Adair has pushed up all the way up to the wall here. It looks like he's going to kind of confrontation with T Baggins, but T Baggins comes out ahead. Calls out the down, which should allow JT to finish the kill here, or White Fang. Good teamwork. Varix, meanwhile, has pushed up on the other side here, over on the east side of the map here. Kesney is pushing out, taking fire as Z-Car. Varix should hear that. Here's the call out. Here's the fire. Could be a great opportunity for a frag.
Nev just saw Barik.
Let's see who will come out on top. Meanwhile, I guess it's Navaste who's going to come out on top with that nice flank. Kesney gets their attention, and Navaste becomes the hammer, capping that round out for him. Not really a cap, but finishing that round out. Better choice of words. Bringing it up to a 1-1. So we'll see how this one plays out for the rest of the match. We are going to the center objective. And we'll see how this one goes, as this one is often a really tough objective to attack, as you have to get up the stairs. You got to look behind you and in front of you for enemy players defending up there, either behind this corner here, or sitting like right here at the backside and just kind of watching in. So you have to look at so many different angles. This one should be interesting. I wonder if we'll see some shield play or not.
Yeah, I'm not sure how QuestCumbers plays. I know Pandamonium was very big into that, or into using shields when we first started out. However, we have gotten away from that recently. But who knows? This is a ScrimCast, so I'm sure both teams are trying things here.
Right. Yeah, I'm interested in how this is going to play out. I wasn't really thinking of the Panda so much for the shield, but maybe for QuestCumbers. It's not a team that I've actually seen a lot of gameplay from. So in that respect, I'm interested just seeing how these new teams have played. I've noticed that a lot of teams have particular styles. Even these newer teams have just kind of chosen their favorite play style and have done really well for themselves.
So Pandemonium spawned in the northeast, which I think we're going to see a rush onto center house here.
You think so?
If
Kind
you
of
get the
interesting,
northeast
like you have
spawn,
inside knowledge or something.
Roger that.
something. From the northeast, you can actually rush the center house before the defenders make it all the way in.
So here you go, some sweet knowledge for you guys who aren't aware of that. Looks like that's going to be the case as the Marsoc makes an aggressive push down here. Bree goes down, from the garage side, catches out 2 players, totally killing them, taking them out. Meanwhile, Adair, with that distraction and Varus, is able to take the center house, concentrate that defense, and now it's just up to Kesney and JT, as well as Baggins on the flank to make this attack. But with that done, it's going to be really tough for the offense to really push up and make this difference here, being down 2 members already. Speaking of, Kesney gets shot in the doorway as Varus is watching it like a hawk. Baggins catches out Marvin in the window, but isn't able to confirm it. That should be an easy res for the defenders here if they go low. Definitely be careful about looking out that window there, as it is a spot that Marsoc will be watching. In fact, I think he saw that. Res and tried to confirm it when he got res, but wasn't able to quite confirm it. JT attempts to throw a smoke, but it turns around and smokes him instead.
Baggins just smoked inside of the house through the 2nd floor window.
It's covering me. Oh, JT tries to come through the other side, but Adair is ready and catches JT out. It's all up to Baggins now. 5 QuestCumbers up, and he gets shot from the front. That was brutal. While they were able to mostly make it into the house, because Ree came around this middle area, just kind of right here in the center of the map, in lane 3 area, and looked over and caught the enemy players just rushing in. Because they were trying to go so fast, they weren't really able to watch their sides and stop that push by Ree, that counter push, I should say, until it was too late and he had taken out 2 enemy players. And more importantly, stunted their attack so they couldn't use that aggression that the Pandas were hoping to have in order to stymie the QuestCumbers defense.
Personally, I'm not a huge fan of the rush attack, especially with the new suburbia for this objective.
Welcome, JamesBowk, to the cast.
That was me joining in the cast, yes.
You will be our analysis for today.
I think with what I was to expand on that, I think with the new windows, there's much more opportunity to clear the house using frags from lots of different hidden locations. So if you can chuck grenades in through those windows, which is much easier to do now.
Do you want to drop some a camera? And
am I 3?
You're 3.
Control 3?
Yeah. Yes.
Control 3.
I'm
Okay.
1 and Reinhardt's 2.
So if you get control of the south side of the house, which I've now adjusted camera 3 to, you can get in through those windows. You can chuck grenades through those windows. You can methodically clear. So getting a good flank control and then creating a noose around the middle house, I feel like whilst the rush attack can work and can get you a cap, which is great, 2 points, there is a higher percentage chance of a win if you take it more methodically. And it's about playing the percentages. You can also, on the new Control 3, you can also, from lane 2 on the other side of his head, you can get frags in through that window as well to clear that back room. So you can pretty much clear the top of the house with frags now. And then you can, just pick everyone out outside the house and then clear the inside of the house later in the round is a great way of cleaning up this map.
I do find that having some kind of like teamwork, clearing the that window that's facing on the left here on the west side of the map is really important, as that spot is so good at stopping a lane 1 push. Like going towards the APC, they almost always catch you out. They have that visual cover behind the drapes of the window, and they're just tucked in the corner, so you'll never see them unless, again, someone frags them, or maybe like a pre-fire. But once you get once they know that you're on lane 1, it's pretty dangerous. So it's kind of a double-edged sword.
I'd be getting a frag in through that window.
Yeah, very
I think that's
powerful.
the best way of doing it. Yeah.
So JT is about to run into QC and Marvin.
Interesting push. I would not be doing this.
But it works out for him, and he
Oh.
gets 2. I would like to see the confirm from JT. He hears them crying for help. Geneva Convention be damned. He's going to shoot him. T. Baggins takes out somebody over there. JT on a rampage, taking out Varix in the center of the map here. Looks like he's just going to go full ham. He's like, I'm going to flank now. I've killed 3 people. Meanwhile, Mobius on lane 4, trying to shoot them, calling out to his friendlies who are sadly going to be on deaf ears as they are dead.
If they have a kill count here, JT should be flanking hard. They do have a kill count, it looks like. Kesney's moving in as well.
Flanking. Mobius takes out Baggins with a lot of fire. Kesney
Why do you have your pistol, Kesney? Why?
No, he's going to tell you that a pistol won the round.
He's going to say the pistol won the round, but he would have done it much more efficiently with a rifle.
Oh boy. So, Reinhardt, as you have some inside knowledge, is that kind of common to kind of push out there into defense, or is that something new you guys are trying out?
Normally we don't push far. We'll normally push through center house if possible. And this way, just that person will meet the enemy, and then we normally have C4 on them. And if they go down,
That's brutal.
we blow them up.
You know, pandas are endangered, right?
Well, we're helping that in the best way we can.
It did actually work out really well for him, though. That push from JT did catch out 2 players who I don't think expected to see him there. And because they were so lined up, they just got taken out one by one, and allowed JT to push through the undefended center, as they weren't quite aware that the flank was taken out, or were just too distracted looking, forward and to their side. And he just went on a tear there. And, if Kesney didn't finish someone off with a pistol, he would have, JT probably would have came up from behind and got yet another kill.
I would have liked to see that last kill, because they knew it was the last and because they knew there was a flanker. I would have liked to see them not exposing themselves as much as they did. There was definitely a chance for that player took out one defender who potentially should have been suppressing from a more covered location, and then could have taken out Kesney. Should have potentially. Whereas they could have just held him in that position and waited for JT to get around.
Absolutely. Yeah, JT had a very powerful position there. Well played from the Pandas on that round. Meanwhile, we are moving up to the north objective here in lane 1. This one should be interesting as well. I'm hoping to see some vicious peaks on lane 1, but it looks like the Pandas aren't going to be doing that. In fact, they're going to do the exact opposite, push down lane 3 and 4.
Yeah, I imagine that. Oh,
They have not
QC
blocked that
is pushing
lane.
up the center
No.
house, so he could be flanking around them.
JT gets caught out by Mobius. Baggins gets the nice refrag there, though, not letting that go unanswered, bringing it to a 4-4 for both sides.
JT's down.
Good information there. Kesney is aware, I think, of possibly a flanker, as he was firing over here at the center house area. It's checking the buildings. Adair is holding his ground, hoping that Kesney stops his attack and roots him out, where he has the advantage in the center house, second story.
Looks like Whitefang and Nexus are getting ready to make a cross on lane 3. They're at least checking their angles there.
They'll have to be careful here, as they have 2 enemy players who are on the porches, ready to catch out any kind of aggressive push towards the center of the street here. In fact, there could be a confrontation from Whitefang and Zcar on one of those porches anytime now. And with one of the defenders all the way in center house dueling off with Kesney, if Zcar gets taken out, it'll be pretty hard for the last defender to really defend this by himself. Kazni, meanwhile, over here at center house, bantering with the enemy here. Neither side willing to commit.
There was also a drop on QuestCumbers.
Unfortunately, yeah, it did seem like they lost people. White Fang pushes around, takes out Zcar on that port.
This could be a cap.
Yeah, Varks is aware of this position. Smoke goes out. Navaste,
They need
very
they need to tell Kesney. They need to tell Kesney.
Cap is
Good.
going off.
They need to tell him.
The cappening is happening. Both players.
No!
Oh no! No!
Why didn't they communicate?
Thank you, Millie, for subscribing. I appreciate it. Welcome to my streamer empire. Definitely going to be taking down PewDiePie anytime now.
After the first round, also, Ree did swap out with Mobius. They're
Oh,
both
okay,
Evolution
cool.
players, which is a new team. I think they're trying to get experienced players in, so I think QuestCumbers is relying on that experience a little bit here.
Do you know, is that a EU team or a US team?
I am not sure. I know Ree used to play on Supernatural, which is an EU team, but I believe he was from America.
Yeah. Hey, if you're watching this right now, Ree, if you want to message me and say what kind of team, like EU or US, that'd be cool. Meanwhile, that round, that was a spicy round. Adair pushed up into the center house, got the window, and that center house a potentially really strong position, but Kazni just kind of kept a leash on him. What did you think of that round, James?
I feel like that was a mistake by Pandamonium there. They had the cap. They knew the guy was way off objective, and there was lack of communication. That should have been 2 points. At the start of the round, letting the person take middle house, I think, when you got 5 people, you can set up lines to stop the person be able to run straight in. So that should have been a pick. But as soon as he was in middle house, it should have been as they were getting down to 2 enemies remaining on the other side, they could have been like, oh, one's in middle house. If we get a pick near objective, the cap is on, and we just hold this dude in middle house. He can't get onto objective in time. There should have been that communication. Something to work on.
Yeah, it definitely takes every fiber in your being to stop yourself from shooting the enemy player as soon as you see him, because this is, obviously an FPS. You're here to shoot people, but those overarching uplink attacks when you actually could get a cap just is so powerful. So you gotta fight the instinct. You gotta fight the urge.
The map would be over now. They've given them a chance.
Right. It's not so bad. Anyways, we will get at least one more round. More practice on this map.
Your practice is good. It's
yeah,
what
practice
is
good.
Yeah.
And Navaste here, basically an unofficial panda at this point. I always got to kind of learn how your team plays on a map. Every team does it a little different, so it's great practice for her. Meanwhile, here on lane 1, Navaste is sitting here on the hedge, and Adair is pushing up slowly, trying to get a pick. We could see confrontation anytime.
Kesney just took out 2 on lane 4.
Brutal.
Just a side note, Evolution is registered in America's East, and it has Ree and Mobius on it.
So not quite enough. Kesney takes out Mobius over in lane 3 or 4 area. I'm not quite sure there. A little distracted. Baggins is watching for this lane 2 push. He stops looking just at the right time for Varks to come around the corner, trade with White Fang. White Fang isn't going to let it happen, though.
Nev should get this.
Yeah.
Lane 1, Nev is potentially engaging.
Yeah, there we go. Here we go. Eyes on. Navaste gets taken out by Adair. Good peek around the corner. JT calls it out to his team, always making sure the team is aware of what's going on. And all guns should be facing towards Adair here, and he didn't get a rotation off, so it's going to be really difficult for him. And Kesney finishes the kill while Baggins was just laying down a volume of fire. Kesney getting a little excited there for the map win. So Evolution, new team, not quite have enough members to play, but do have a couple veteran players. If anyone's interested, and joining a team, potentially by some players that already have some experience playing in League, feel free to hit up with like 50 E's. I don't know how many there are.
I don't feel like you said enough then. Ooh, north objective.
Here we go. It's been
Sexy.
so long since
There it
we've seen
is.
Subway. I'm happy to see this. I think they chose this just to make me happy, and I approve. They've already done their match. This is actually a scrim after the fact. So they're just kind of doing it for some practice, for some fun.
Stress relief.
Yeah, stress relief. Letting a load off, So what do you think of the that overall last couple of rounds or that map? Either one of you guys.
I think that was good on Pandemonium's part. I think they should have communicated that cap more, but overall they rotated well. I think a few times they could have been tucked in a little more, and they rushed some kills that they could have just waited for them to cross their line, but it worked out. So
yeah, and of course the QuestCumbers actually did a pretty good job punishing those mistakes, and some of those instances, getting a kill and really tying it up, or even bringing in the heat and winning their round. What about you, James?
So I only saw a few of the rounds. I think the first round I saw the defense when they had that last guy. I'm trying to think. So there was the attack on Middle House. Maybe could have been just a bit more methodical. There's a chance to get some picks first. That rush attack can work, but it's a very high risk for the reward. Then they had defense on Middle House. I think JT got a bit lucky taking his position / push through, taking 2 out and then getting the flank and getting another. But he got it, did well. What I'd like to see work done by Pandemonium on that would be communication for at the end of the round. Communication for the end of the round. I think it's the same theme in the next 2 rounds. Communication at the end of the round, because their attack on Northwest objective could have been a cap with that communication, and the defense on Northwest objective could have been a little bit safer. If they'd known that's the last person, there was no need for Nev to overexpose and get picked and potentially allow the rotation. There was a chance to just really lock that dude in that location and then take him out. From the QuestCumber side, trying to think, it's just as they move up on attack, they just need to hold their lines to stop flanks. Letting JT get that flank, that should have been a free kill for them. Potentially pushing up to Middle House for that Northwest objective, not something I'd probably recommend because you're so removed from the objective. Yeah, I think it's the main things to work on.
Definitely some spicy rounds. We are now getting started on the best objective that ever existed. Kesney getting really aggressive on this defense, coming all the way up and around. Already prepping a grenade. Zcar and Adair coming around here. Flash goes out. Adair doesn't look like he's flashed, but Zcar definitely is. Kesney decides to try to go for a pre-fire. Adair throws out his own grenade. White Fang practicing being the grenadier.
He has things to learn.
So 3 QuestCumbers have made it down the south stairs.
They obviously went the wrong way. This is the interesting side. Smoke goes
This
out.
This is where I would suggest the frag needs to go. They did it too early.
Taken out. Adair did get around where he didn't think, though. Another frag comes out, catches both of them. White Fang with a nice refrag. Zcar, you could hear the audible gasp. Now White Fang isn't sure if he got both. Navase has that back position covered, so we should see a refrag, hopefully, from White Fang, confirming these 2 kills. Ultimately, a successful defense on the north stairs. Meanwhile,
RX just called out that the 2 attackers in the north are downed.
Yeah, it looks like he's pushing back to try to go for a res here, so Hopefully White Fang will go run up and confirm, but if not, we might see either a revive or another kill from White Fang.
The lack of engagement right now should be giving White Fang some information that he needs to go and check.
Definitely worried about just getting taken out and leaving enough to Navaste there, so it's definitely a tough decision there.
Mm.
Meanwhile, Marvin and who's this? Mobius have pushed up a little bit on the south side, pushing towards the north. Marvin's taking the north train here. Has to worry about any players maybe sitting in the little rooms off the side here, or in the train tracks like Baggins ultimately is. Speaking of, Baggins just catching the backside of that kill onto Marvin. This is going to be a tough one for QuestCumbers unless they can get those reses off.
Looks like Varix is going for those reses now.
Right.
He's closing in.
This is and the guy
camera
on the
3.
looks like he's going to get Z-Car at the very least.
Yep. Camera 3 has it right now.
Yeah, catching it. Res goes off on Z-Car. If he doesn't go low and slow, we could see a kill from White Fang.
This is where they should frag. Bottom left frag right now.
They already threw 2, so I don't think they have any more. All the reses, all those kills with that great ending
No,
grenade.
I mean QuestCumbers should frag.
Oh, and they are.
Not quite long enough.
Yeah, not quite. It was just kind of off in the corner there. They should know that the attackers are coming from the north area. We'll see how they choose to breach this, or if they choose to rotate. That said, rotating now would not give them any time, really. They'd have to go as fast as possible.
They've got control of the top of the stairs. Such a powerful position.
I think they are, at least 2 players are going to be attacking there. They're just trying to get all their deployables ready, prepare their attack. A minute, 15 seconds definitely is enough time to make this attack. White Fang, meanwhile, catches out Adair, who is looking down the stairs there. Mobius takes out JT, but T Baggins on the other side gets a nice refrag.
With those 2 picks on the attack, I'd put this round in Kesney's favour. Kesney's, I say, Panda's favour. Whoever set those names. Kesney is dead. That just means there won't be any team kills this round.
Z-Car, last member left, tries to come down. Unable to, as White Fang has that cucumber juice station locked down.
I would not... I would approach from the left-hand side of the stairs and then make your way across.
Oops,
If you're attacking.
I messed that one up. I kind of thought the round was over and wasn't paying attention. I didn't realize there was one more in this out. All right, so 1 objective down. Kesney's victims taking the point, also known as Pandamonium. Really up and down there. Looked like they were going to lose the north defense. Then they got that grenade off, taking out 2 enemy players. A beautiful counter, like that second frag, really spot on. But weren't able to confirm it, allowing them to get res. Possibly a really strong push down the north side. But maybe just a little hesitation there from the attackers there, knowing that White Fang was watching it. But very strong rotation. I like to see that Varix was aware on his tablet, checking it out, making sure that if there was a res available, he was going to try and make it. Definitely the right move, considering that he did get 2 reses there. Do you have any thoughts on this round, Reinhardt?
I like the QuestCumbers push overall. I just think they lack some execution at the end, which is a common thing to struggle with. They just kind of need to, like those north stairs, I feel, I'm not sure if James agrees, but I feel personally, you kind of just have to push down them if you're going to commit to it. If waiting up top is just not a good play.
Oh, you triggered
Yes,
James.
it's the way in which they waited at the top. You push down them methodically, but they approach the top of the stairs, exposing themselves to way too much information because they approach from the right-hand side or the south side, whichever way you're looking at it. If you approach from the left-hand side, you know that you're not going to come across a player who isn't exposed. And then you can cut the pie or slice the pie across until you can see that Coke machine on the left. You should frag the Coke machine. They chuck their frag way too early onto the stairs. Coke machine frag is key, and then you take it down the stairs methodically, ideally as a team of 2. The hardest part of the north attack is getting control of that first corner. Once you get control of that first corner, it should be it's in the attacker's advantage.
That's my jam, yo. That's my jam.
Yeah, that's Mono's control of that first corner. 100%.
All right, we see a frag going over the wall there. C4 is placed, but White Fang comes around the corner, hot and heavy. Gun is blazing. He comes out. He says nobody's getting away. But that C4 takes out White Fang. Silences
Frag
the
now.
big gun.
Where's the frag? Kesney, approach from the other side.
Roger, I hear you.
Trying to get a pick onto A there here. And it's a trade. Trade is always more helpful when you're on Marsoc. I always consider a trade a win in most cases. Defenders are more valuable than Marsoc.
Definitely.
Meanwhile, Navase is the perfect person for this approach. She does
Frag
like...
first. Where's their utility?
Follow this down. Meanwhile, the push on the south side is still slowly pushing down. They've made it downstairs, it looks like. But I'm going to follow the action here as Navase looks like she's going to catch some people out here. She has to worry about clipping here as she's right against the wall. But it looks like she's made it down. She cleared the back area. And now it's just up to Zcar and Marvin.
Timing here is going to be key.
She catches out Marvin, who peeks out just a little bit too much,
Check,
but not
no,
enough Navase.
she has
doesn't
not checked
check
her left. What?
Oh man, probably had some tracking issues there. It happens to everybody. Ooh, the frag
Not a good
almost,
frag.
almost catches them out. Varric's taken out here in the south. Res is available, but probably not going to happen. White Fang pushes down and takes out the last guy.
So this next uplink, it looks like, is the basement uplink.
Oh, even better. So getting some great objectives here.
So do you like this one or North Stair more, James?
I like attack on this more, but I like defense on North Stairs more. And I like Chinatown probably the most. Attack and
I hate
defense.
Chinatown. North Stairs, where's that?
Oh, I don't know. Actually, Chinatown. No, probably attack on this. I prefer the most. You
This
get some
is-
really great movement. Very good linear movement on attack on this one.
Yeah. This is the one where I practice holding my stock up for 5 minutes straight. This one I think definitely does have some interesting situations happen where you lose a couple people in defense and you're suddenly having to watch 2 angles, and it can be really dangerous. You know, if the tunnel position guy goes down, the guys on the tracks have to really worry about their flank. And while they're busy, you know, maybe running over, reviving or checking the tunnel entrance, you got to deal with people coming down the stairs and catching you in the side when you're rotating back.
This is an objective where you can defend it with 2, even 1, but you need to be able to adjust to information rapidly.
Kesney is calling out authoritatively where everyone should be going. Playing the battlefield commander. Navase sounds like she might be having some technical issues there, requiring a reset. We'll see what happens. C4 in hand. I'm going to watch where she puts this.
Ooh,
That's
where's that
there.
going?
She
Looks
put
like
it in
the
the tunnel.
attackers are doing a 2-2-1 split with Evo going into the basement, QC and Zark taking the south stairs, and
Oh.
2 others going in the north.
So, Pandamonium have sacrificed the south stair entrance. Looks like Baggins actually has it covered.
Moby is coming down the tunnel here, pre-firing down the down the corridor here. It'll be really hard for him to check for C4, as he'll already be committed halfway down the hallway there. And if he does come down there and Navase hears any kind of movement, any kind of speed up, she's going to blow the C4 and take him out.
In the chat, Marksman is calling a Nevesta C4 kill.
I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. Kesney, 4 minutes of elevator music starts now.
All right. Any time from now would be a C4.
She is being very quiet, though. Navase is using audio as her trigger, not peeking, which will allow Mobius probably to cross past the C4.
He'll be close to out of range now.
See what happens. Just so stuck with anticipation as Mobius slowly cuts the pie, coming around the corner here. Bagan's ready for a refrag. Marvin takes out White Fang down the stairs.
Mobius just talked. Nev needs to do it.
She has it in hand. She's looking for any kind of movement to the door. And the C4 takes him out. But he was able to get a confirm onto Navaste. Headshot, no res coming out there. Bagans looks like he's concerned. He's concerned about someone coming down the stairs here. Meanwhile, over here in the north, they've actually pushed all the way down the stairs. Varks and Marvin. Smoke goes around the corner, trying to obscure. JT is calling it out. Marvin is aware of his position here. He's trying to cover both corners here as Kesney is on the other. JT's on the backside. And he gets caught in a shish kebab. This potentially very dangerous situation looks like it's under control from the defenders right now.
Has Baggins not realized he's lost Nev behind him?
I don't know.
Esney just called out for Baggins to cover tunnel still.
Varks is almost looked like he was about to confirm. JT can hear some movement as he was moving quickly, even while crouched. JT, yep, he even calls it out to his team. Kesney should be aware that there's still a situation here. Might be able to turn around and support. Meanwhile, on the south stair, still above, Adair and Zekar are probing. Questionably, Varks pushes out aggressively. JT.
Kesney needs to react. He hasn't.
They aren't aware of what's going on here. Varks gets his reload off. Loads
They've
his
been
gun.
distracted by the stairs.
Right, yeah. Tunnel vision. Kesney takes out Zekar, but now Varks takes out Kesney. The objective is open. T. Baggins needs to react. He needs to push out, either die or take him out, and he does take him out. Adair, meanwhile, comes around, finishes that confirm, winning the round for QuestCumbers. That was brutal.
That was, yep.
A little bit of tunnel vision, I'd say. I think was the downfall that round.
Yeah, and positioning just out by about 1 or 2 meters by a few players, and that's the difference between a win and a loss right there.
Yeah, I noticed Kesney's victims were not very tucked in.
They didn't need to. They lost a person on the north stair, holding the north stair, actually on the train tracks. You shouldn't really lose someone there. They should be spaced off to the side so they can't get picked from the top. They had 2 people watching the tunnel exit when they could have had, one of those people could have been watching the south stair, and then you can have 3 watching the north side. Baggins could have reacted to when Nev went down, and then if you adjust across, you can actually hold the tunnels and the south stairs from one location, which I've put on camera 3 right now. And you can actually watch across the map, and then you've got the whole of the south covered, and the north can have 2 man on it, which is what it needed. It needed 2 man on the north.
Yeah, unfortunately, JT got caught out there. I think he was flashed, allowing the enemy player to just run up right on top of him, take him out, and be in a commanding position.
Yep. And if Kesney had been supporting the north with JT, then that wouldn't have happened. Kesney would have shot him from behind. That's where the adjustment needed to be made, so that Baggins was covering the tunnel in south, and JT and Kesney were covering north, with the ability for Kesney to quickly spin to cover south if Baggins goes down.
I also would have liked to see out of QuestCumbers a more even push. They had, despite them winning, they did have 3 separate attacks: one in tunnels, one on north stairs, and one on south stairs. I think they just capitalized on Pandemonium's mistakes there. But
A lack of smoke too. I feel was there much smoke? I missed that.
I don't think there's a lot of
there-
utility at all.
We did see one smoke being thrown into the tracks on the north side, but no one was defending at that spot. It's always hard to know as we have kind of that overhead view. We know what's going on. We have the mini map. They don't really have any idea what's going on. They only have the audio cues, the communication of their team, and what they can see. So it's really important to use as much information as you have, call out, fill that fog aware with a lot of talking by telling your team, hey, I saw this person crossing here, or I heard them running above me. That kind of stuff can mean all the difference at the same time. You do have to worry about them hearing you and using that information against you. So it just really depends in what kind of situation you're in. But generally speaking, more information is better than no information.
Curious
And-
how QuestCumbers is going to defend this now. Pandemonium chose a very basement-heavy defense, but I know some teams do like to push out more.
Sometimes, honestly, when you have 1 or 2 people go above and just fire on them, like maybe from the tunnel entrance, and just fire on them, kill a guy or down a guy or just get their attention and then rotate back in, they'll waste a lot of time clearing the above area, just so scared of some kind of flank. And it can really work for your team that way.
It's finding that rotation back in. There are some good lines, but coming back across the open in the top is hard.
Check this out right here on my camera. You got the kind of sneaky C4. He places specifically to be as far down on that step as possible and out of view. Let's see. Yeah, that's so sneaky. If you go to the top of the stairs and just look down, you do not see it.
Yeah, that is a very good spot.
Yeah, I've not actually seen that. Kudos on that one.
You see it on the north stairs. They're being used on the stair like that, but I haven't seen it on this one because there's the overheads, which are generally quite good. But that's a good spot.
Yeah, I think he might get somebody with that C4 this game. We'll see. In fact, he takes out JT. Oh no, that was actually in the tunnel.
Different C4.
JT. Oh, JT, why do you have to talk? Okay, when you're down, try not to say anything unless you're giving useful information to your team. As you never know. Maybe they won't confirm you.
Where was that C4 placed?
I
It
didn't
was in the
actually see.
tunnels.
Yeah, somewhere in
I don't-
tunnels.
Meanwhile, Navaste ready to push up and maybe get a refrag. Kesney takes out Adair in the north. Let's check out this push here. Looks like he's taking it pretty careful here. He's trying to peek anybody on the stairs. Mobius takes out Teabag and says they push down the north stairs. Navaste takes out Varus in the tunnel entrance, opening that approach. Mobius confirms the kill. White Fang takes out
Trades.
Mobius in a trade. Z-Car trying to defend the objective at the Kook machine. Trying to defend
This
against
P4
Navaste.
should come
Navaste.
off.
Frank
Oh.
goes out, takes out Z-Car.
Good frag.
A trade
That
from
must
the
have been-
grave.
That must have been very confusing for Nev.
Those are the grenades you hate to see as the last man up. You win it, you don't get taken out, you're feeling good about yourself, and then boom, you're down. And just like that, the round is over. So good revenge from Kesney there.
Ooh, it looks like the lobbies are clearing out.
I'm guessing there's a problem. I know QuestCumbers have been having a lot of drops.
I'm going to go ahead and jump us into intermission here, and we will pick up the rest of this scrim in a moment, probably jumping into a new lobby, it looks like. So just stay tuned. We'll be back shortly. All right, we're back, guys. Sorry about that. It appears that QuestCumbers are having some kind of technical issues for a couple of their members, and unfortunately, this scrim is going to be cut short. We did have a couple of good maps. We had Subway for this one, and we had Suburbia. And then I misclicked on my OBS. But what did you guys think of that? Let's start with Reinhardt. Starting on the first map, do you have any thoughts on that one?
I think both teams played very well. I liked how QuestCumbers was able to shut down that Pandamonium rush, and overall, I think they just need to look at their tablet a little more. There's a few times they had players far off uplink, but overall they played very well. Just some minor execution things that Pandemonium was able to capitalize on.
What about you, James?
Yeah, similar comments on the first. From the QuestCumber side, I think they just need to be aware of holding lines in that first 10 and 15 seconds of that map. They let JT get that flank when probably should have been shut down. It was a very exposed movement, and that lost them one round. And then, yeah, pushing out on the defense can work, but pushing that far, generally you would have got picked. So the defense of the Northwest. So they just need to consider where they're going to push to and the line they take to push to it when they're on defense, and then just when on attack, making sure that they've always got cover as they move forward and they're holding lines, moving as a team. Losing one to a flanker is, it happens. Losing three, probably shouldn't.
Always have that tablet awareness. Moving on to Subway, I thought that was pretty interesting fights that we had going on there. I liked that up and down of that first round with the 2 revives, the grenade taking out 2 people, and it just could have gone either way for so long. It was really interesting to watch. And also, just on a other note, seeing Subway was awesome. Seeing my favorite objectives for this map was great. So I was really excited about that. Any thoughts, Reinhardt?
Same things there. I think QuestCumbers should have won a few more matches there or rounds there. I think they were the stronger team, despite the score showing otherwise, I believe. But both teams played very well. I would have liked to see the Chinatown uplink because I think that's a very interesting one to see. So.
Alrighty, what about you, James?
Yeah, I think the main one which QuestCumbers should be upset about or not upset, but think about is that north attack. They had that north attack. It was theirs for the taking. Just it's about how you approach those stairs, so you're getting the right information without overexposing yourself, and where you use your utility. They could have cleared out some zones with frags more efficiently. I think there's a bit of a panic throw of a couple of frags. So it's just some minor adjustments would have been the difference on that attack. Their defense of that, I think there's a very aggressive initial attack on it. Defense is always hard on that one. It's making sure that you don't give away those stairs if possible.
All right.
And then, sorry, I'm going into way too much detail as I do. I always do this. Yeah.
It's
No, I think, they had a chance. They definitely had a chance on Subway. I think Subway was stronger for QuestCumbers.
Yeah, definitely some great plays. It was really fun to watch. Anyways, this was QuestCumbers versus Pandemonium. If you joined late, I'm your main cast, Monorchid. I got my co-cast ReinhardtDean here from Pandas, and my and my analysis from JamesBowk, co-captain of Mayhem.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks for showing up, joining this on this ScrimCast. Had a great time. Hopefully, we can see more matches coming up here in the future, close future, soon future, some future. I can't think of the word, but here we go. Anyways,
present,
future, past future, all the futures. Have a good one, everyone. And that'll be it for today.